Android screen, and this is for the Udacity Google Scholarship for Android Basics. So here's the basically the finished app on the right, and this is where we're aiming to get the code in the middle here. So the first thing I started with is relative layout, and the reason for that is I wanted the text to show up in front of this background here, and relative layout's a good way to do that. So really first thing we want to specify here is that we're working in a relative layout format. So here's the coding for that, and what I did is I use the width and height to be match parent, so that allows the full screen, the full phone or tablet screen to be utilized and match. um, our card would match whatever phone or tablet screen we're trying to get at or use. The next thing here is I inserted a image view, and that's really for the background here, and I named it ID photo, and this background is actually something that I pulled from a Apple background, and the way you plug that in here into the app is by dropping it into the drawable folder. So if you see on this left pane, you can see apps under res, and then under drawable, um, you can drop your background or photo in that folder. If I right click it or two finger click it with Mac, you can open the actual folder, and this is where you can drop your background images in. From there, you can just use the source Android :source src equals quotation at drawable / and whatever your image is that you want to use. The next item here is text view, and for this one I really wanted to add just this first text up here, which is congratulations to all scholarship recipients. I use a wrap content for the width and height, just because I didn't want to take any more space than I need to. Here's the text. Made the text white. I used 30 SP for the text size. And then I learned that you can align this text in the center by using Android :text align equals center. There's also other options, but you guys can look at that. Font family is a sans serif light. And then I also use Android :layout _ center in parent. I was trying to test this app with tablets, and I'll show you real quick. If I go into, if I change the screen to just a tablet, and if I remove this center in parent line here, you see that it doesn't align in the center anymore. But if you go back to using a phone like the Pixel 2, it does align in parent. So I found, I don't know why, but having that center in parent line there works for both the Pixel 2, other phones, and tablet to make sure that text is in the center. And then I aligned it to the top, and then I added some margin here just to use that rule of 8 and keep the text nice and neat. Next one here, I separated two texts and made the code be with and you. Those are two separate texts. The first one here is may the code be with you, or maybe may the code be with, excuse me. The height and width are both in wrap content. I use the center text align again to make sure it's in the center. The color is white, text size is 30 SP, and the same font as the other text. And I also use the center in parent to make it centered for both tablets and phones. and then I did another text view just for the U, and I used the wrap content width and height again, text align centered. It's a white color, 30sp text size. I made it bold just to make it stand out a little more. Same font family as the other one, and I also made sure that I used the Android colon layout below to make sure that this text is below the code be width. And then I also use center and parent just to make everything straight. Another thing I also learned on the Stack or Slack, sorry, the Slack app, was that you can change and remove the title box here. So let me see if I go into um, activity main here. If I open, sorry, not that one. It's actually the styles. If I change this to when it was originally dark action bar. So if I change that back to what it originally was, you can see that there's a title bar here. Just to clean it up a little bit, I found out if you go into the res folder under values and styles.xml, double click that, this should pop up, and you just change this to no instead of dark. You can get rid of that title bar. And then another thing I found was you can also change the color of the notification bar up top. If you go into the res folder under values and under colors, double click that, and this should pop up here. These colors, if you change it, it will change the notification bar color. So I just went into the material.io website, clicked a color under the user interface material palette. I just went for gray. They give you some hex values here for the color. I plugged it into the primary here, and that changes the notification bar to a gray color. And so this is the finished product here, and I'll be posting this on the discussion guide. Thanks for listening.